My mother-in-law excluded me from everything, so I'm cutting her off.
You want to exclude me? I'll exclude you.
My fiance, 25 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for a year and a half, and we got engaged a month ago. We had a beautiful baby girl 3 months ago, and she's just perfection. The issue, however, is my soon-to-be mother-in-law. By the way, this comes from Realistic Average 20, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in this situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, if I wrote everything that has happened in the past year and a half, it would be an entire book. So I will spare the goriness of all of that. For the issue on hand, however, I do need to give a bit of background. My fiance and I live an hour away from his family and only 20 minutes from mine. He moved away from his parents after coming back for college for work. I moved in with him in November from my parents' house after finding out that we were pregnant. My mother-in-law has had an issue with my fiance living away from them since he moved in 2022 and has even blamed it on me. Her father-in-law and sister-in-law have made both blatant and passive-aggressive comments about how fiance doesn't come around often enough or that him and I only spend time with my family. Which we did spend more time with my family because for the majority of our relationship, I was living with them. Since we had our daughter, mother-in-law makes even more comments about how she, quote, wants her granddaughter to know her and that she wants to actually have a relationship with her. She has even gone as far as to stop speaking to fiance for weeks because she thinks that my parents spend every day with our daughter. She thinks my family and I, quote, stole him from her and that my parents are trying to replace her. Sister-in-law has 3 kids, to which mother-in-law is the sole babysitter and honestly has the kids more than sister-in-law does. So fiance is thinking that mother-in-law wants our daughter to herself like she gets with the others. When we got invited over, it's usually only fiance and our daughter that get an invite. Fiance and I have addressed this, to which mother-in-law replied, it's implied that OP is invited.
Well, then just include my name on there.
Yeah, right? Is it really that much to type out?
It would be implied my kid is, too,
yeah, exactly.
But you're including her.
Yeah. She went as far as to remove fiance and I from her Blue app after we asked her to tag me in a post that she made of our daughter. She had only tagged fiance and sister-in-law, then got defensive when fiance told her that it was rude not to tag me. So what do you guys think? There are some comments, but what do you think, Carly?
Sounds like she's doing it on purpose to me.
Sounds like some mean girl action right now.
Sounds like we went back to high school.
Yeah,
with your
I think
mother-in-law.
so. But we do have some comments. Comment number 1 says, it's not you. It's the idea of you. Mother-in-law wants her son and her grandchildren to be her minions. She expects her daughter-in-law and son-in-law to be minions too. You aren't. You are an adult who lives somewhere and your fiance wants to be with you and build a life with you, so he moved. She can't blame her son, so she has to blame you for taking her son away from her as if he was a child, and her grandchild as if she were the mother instead of you. She is being petty and unreasonable. She is hoping that her being petty and leaving you uninvited, that it will create cracks in your relationship so that fiance will leave you and take the child and move back to her so she can raise more babies. Mother-in-law is an empty nester who refuses to embrace her life as an empty nester. She wants to be a mom, raising her kids and grandkids. There's no reasoning with her because she's unreasonable. So you and fiance figure out how often you want to visit and only go as a family unit. You, fiance, and child are your own little family unit. Any other invitations you are entitled to politely but firmly decline. Don't engage in her games about grandparent time. Just respond, we are fair to both families and I'm sorry if you feel differently about that. You and fiance need to build a wonderful life together with your child. And we do have an update, but yeah, I mean, that comment was like pretty spot on.
Yeah.
We covered all the bases.
Good job, comment.
No notes. No notes.
A+.
Mother-in-law says my daughter is just for my family. Fiance and I decided to ask his family and mine to lunch the day before Father's Day. This is an attempt to get both sides together before we start heavy wedding planning, and also so that we are able to celebrate my dad, father-in-law, and fiance all in one. My parents were immediately good with it and accepted the invite. In-laws, however, took 3 days to respond, and fiance was instructed by mother-in-law to ask both parents separately. In the end, they accepted. Today is fiance's birthday, so his parents gave him a call this morning. The call went as I expected. Father-in-law asked about work and money, and mother-in-law was nosy and judgy about how I was going to cook dinner. However, We missed sister-in-law's birthday in May, and her youngest child's birthday is at the end of June. Mother-in-law ended the call asking fiancé if we can pick a day to go to their house to celebrate all 3 birthdays in one. Our daughter will be 4 months this month, so she will obviously be a big part of the celebration. I hate playing past the baby, and since in-laws have barely seen her, I know they will push to hold her a lot. I have PPD and PPA, so my list of people I fully trust with my daughter is very short. In-laws are not on that list, and we do have a second update. Yeah, that sounds stressful.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
It's so easy from an outside perspective to be like, well, just let them hold the baby. Like, they haven't seen the baby.
Right.
But I can understand the stress of that as your
Yeah.
child is being passed around.
Right, and if you have postpartum depression,
Right,
and
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that is something that we just could not understand. But we do have a second update. We went to the early Father's Day lunch with both mine and my fiance's family. One long table where fiance, daughter, and I were at one end. My family arrived when we did, on time, and the in-laws arrived about 10 minutes after. Okay, 10 minutes to a dinner, I feel like that's fine. They said hello and hugged fiance and said hi to my family and gave sideways hello to me. I was holding the baby in my lap. The day before this, our daughter got her 4-month shots, so she was not fully acting herself and was being clingy to us. Fiance spent most of the lunch talking to his parents while I talked to both him and mine. Fiance and I passed out Father's Day gifts and a late Mother's Day gift to mother-in-law. She was convinced that fiance and sister-in-law went in on the gift, even after fiance told her that I made it. We did not want to pass the baby around. We stood firm on that, and it was either fiance or I holding the daughter the entire time. Sister-in-law came up to me, reached out her hands to grab my daughter, and said, "Can I take her?" So I politely said, "Oh, we don't want to pass her around today. We're going to keep her with us." She then made a face and then walked back to her seat. Father-in-law came and said hello to both baby and I, which was nice. Before everyone left, sister-in-law came over and kept getting very close to trying to pick up the baby, but never did. She took photos of her and just kind of lingered. Mother-in-law asked fiancé if she could hold the baby, and fiancé calmly explained why she couldn't. She then pouted and then said she was ready to leave. She never once came up to me or our daughter. She ended up leaving without a goodbye to anyone but fiancé. When we left, fiancé immediately got aggressive texts from sister-in-law accusing him of lying to them about why he wears a ring on his left hand. I bought him one when he bought my engagement ring, so he chose to start wearing it when we got engaged. She then sent very strong texts angry with us for not letting them hold our daughter and threw in many a curse word. There was even a text that was somewhat threatening to both of us. Oh, wow. This went on for a few hours. That night, she posted photos of our daughter from lunch and didn't tag either one of us, but did tag mother-in-law. This is a huge deal to us, for safety reasons. I left a comment on sister-in-law's post, thanking her for the non-existent tag. She then proceeded to text fiancé that it was, quote, her app, so she could post what she wanted to, along with more curse words. Fiancé told her that she can post our daughter as long as she tags us, to which she responded with, "Well, don't ask to see my kid since I can't see yours." Mother-in-law then sent a long text blaming fiancé for how sister-in-law acted and for how everyone was feeling. I decided to text mother-in-law to try and clear the air and explain our side of things. It was a very long message, and she replied with her own lengthy response. However, nowhere in it did she acknowledge anything I said, gave excuses for their behavior, and defended sister-in-law. Right now, no one has spoken to fiancé, and we've decided to let it sit and see what happens. At this point, we do not want sister-in-law anywhere around our daughter until we get a firm apology in person. And we do have a third update here.
Jeez.
Do you think we're going to get that apology?
No,
Yeah, I definitely don't think so.
it's not looking likely.
We have a third update here. After the last blow up with my future in-laws, my fiancé and I haven't spoken to them in weeks. He was waiting for some medical supplies to come in and got a notification that it was delivered, but not to our house. The photo showed it sitting at his parents' house. It had been there for a few days with no communication from his mother. He called her, but no answer, so he texted her asking if he had a package. She responded, yes. Fiancé drove the hour away to pick up the package, which contained medical supplies that he had been waiting on for weeks. Immediately upon arrival, he was scolded and asked, "So what the F is going on?" They had it out for about an hour. He called me on his way home to tell me everything. A ton of blame was put on me for keeping him away from the family and changing him, purposefully keeping our daughter from them, not trying to be a part of the family. She told fiancé that his sister was just very hurt and that we need to apologize to her. That mother-in-law apparently is up all night crying and never gets to sleep because of everything. She has claimed that an hour isn't that far of a drive and that we can make the trip with our now 5-month-old because they are always busy. My fiancé wants to stay in contact with them solely because they are family, but agrees that they shouldn't have much contact with our daughter. Neither of us are comfortable with it. There is a birthday party coming up for sister-in-law's twins, turning 6, which we were told to go to. Should we go? Our daughter will be 6 months at that point. We had a conversation about everything with his grandmother, mother-in-law's mom, who agreed with us on everything and told me how proud she is of me and how happy she is to have me become part of the family. The same from his aunt and grandfather. So I don't want to lose contact with all of fiancé's family, but I don't want to see mother-in-law or sister-in-law. And we do have a 4th update. My goodness, but what would you say is the move right now?
I don't even know, because it's nice to know that, like, some of the family does seem very respectful and inviting and everything.
Yeah.
So part of me wants to be like, well, don't, like, if you really want to have some sort of relationship, like, don't cut them all out. I think that'd be really hard. I don't really think you need to keep talking to mother-in-law and sister-in-law, though.
Yeah, because it's like, the only thing I could think of is, like, if you go to these events and you want to see these other family members, like, you're gonna just have to kind of deal with it and just ignore them, in a sense. But if you're, like, all you did was, like, go pick up a package and, or, like, you know, all your husband did, or future husband did was pick up a package and then that already started, like, an argument, it's like, okay, I feel like they're not going to be able to just ignore them.
Right.
So
that is my worry as well.
We do have a 4th update. For about a week or two at the end of last month, my fiance hadn't heard from his mother. Simple texts warranted no response from her. However, she texted fiance and his sister on Grandparents' Day, telling them to call their grandmother. Fiance decided to FaceTime mother-in-law to wish her a happy Grandparents' Day, since sister-in-law has 3 kids and we have 1. I told fiance that I did not want to be in the call, since mother-in-law never wants to see me anyway, and I have decided to go no contact with her. The first thing out of her mouth when she answered, well, baby's name has no hair. Our daughter was 6 months old. She argued with my fiance for 5 minutes. She then decided to argue again on our choice to give our daughter oatmeal by spoon instead of rice cereal in her bottle. The call consisted of fiance giving his parents life updates, which they didn't care about, and them continually trying to end the call. Finally, he gave them wedding planning updates, and his dad says, well, that sounds awfully expensive. And mother-in-law follows up with, doesn't the bride's family pay for the wedding? I was livid. We have been engaged since April, and they have not once congratulated us, invited us over to celebrate, or even put me in a group chat with the other women of the family. We hadn't heard from mother-in-law in a couple of weeks. This past weekend, we traveled to my sister's college for a family weekend, which was about 2.5 hours away. Fiance sent a photo to mother-in-law for her to show father-in-law. She responded with, well, where are you? So fiance told her, and her reply was, I wish their town was as close to our town as the college town is, so I could actually see my son and granddaughter. And we were pissed off. Fiance didn't reply. We live an hour away from his parents and sister. So technically, we went further away this weekend. But they only want to see fiance and our daughter if fiance and our daughter travels to them. Mother-in-law and father-in-law have only visited our house twice since we had the baby in February. On the flip side, my mom stayed with us for 3 days at a time for almost 2 months after we came home from the hospital, and my whole side of the family visits us many times. Fiance knows there is an issue with them, but still wants to have our daughter be involved with them. They disrespect me, my fiance, and our relationship, and have since we started dating. I am completely fine with her growing up only knowing one set of grandparents until they can fix themselves. We do have a 5th update that says breaking point.
I feel like we've hit it, and I feel like it's time to stop talking to him.
Yeah, I honestly do. I want to know more information about what your fiance thinks, because, you know, he's obviously arguing with them too, so he's not just, like, weak-spining it.
But then I'm also confused at that one conversation where she was like, they kept trying to end the phone call.
Yeah.
But he kept it going. So then I'm like, why are we, like, having longer conversations than we need to have?
Yeah, it really seems like he just really wants them in his life.
Just totally fair as his parents.
Yeah. And then it's just, like, so disappointing how they're acting. And he's, like, you know, probably doesn't want to accept it.
Yeah.
But we do have a 5th update. I think I have officially reached my breaking point.
Yeah.
My fiance is working his 2nd job tonight, so my daughter and I have some time together. In the middle of cooking dinner, a package gets dropped off at the door. I know I haven't ordered anything, and my fiance hasn't either. It's a medium-sized box with the return address of my future in-laws, addressed to my fiance and our daughter. I text him to see if I can open it. And we can find out what's in the box after I let you know that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Let's find out. I feel like it's going to be a situation where you have to cut a red wire or else everything's going to be destroyed. I opened it to find this letter on the top of a stack of things. This letter reads, "Hey, wanted to get daughter these before she grows out of them. I've been picking them up when I found something cute. The little Western dress is in a 12-month size, so she will have to grow into it, but it was so cute. It is unfortunate that we are not able to find the time to get together with your working weekends and such, but I guess that's how things go. If the clothes don't fit or you're not interested in daughter wearing them, please bring them to the station and donate to someone who is less fortunate. I would have returned them, but I had them for too long. Take care." Safe to say, we're done. I sent photos to my fiance and he was livid. I was fuming. She has lost any possible relationship with my daughter and my fiance wants nothing to do with her. And that's the end of that story. Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I mean, at least your fiance's on the same page now.
That was a weird breaking point, but yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
I'm just like, what were they? Sure.
But I mean,
you know what? Sure.
Yeah, but I guess that's kind of been like all of their reactions to things. It's just like, huh? What is going on inside your brain?
And I'm glad it made us get there regardless.
Yeah, I agree. We're there.
Yes. My mother-in-law treats my baby as if it's her own while I deal with postpartum.
That's my baby, not yours.
So I love my in-laws dearly. They are so supportive of us having a baby and even let us move in until we save enough to buy our own home. By the way, this comes from Rare Mushroom 2710, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, all throughout my pregnancy, his mother has been very overwhelming. I took my test with her, and of course it was positive. We asked her not to tell anyone until we found out everything was okay, and we were ready to announce it. She, of course, didn't respect our wish and told people anyway. That should have been the first red flag. We brushed it off. She kept getting on us about announcing that we are expecting. I finally agreed to post after I found out the gender of the baby. She reposted and continued to say she is finally getting her baby girl. People were commenting on the post thinking she was pregnant.
Well, yeah. When you say you're getting your baby, that means it's birthed from you.
Usually what's implied. I brought this up to my boyfriend and he said, no, it's fine. I had the weirdest feeling about it. We again brushed it off. A month or so later, we were trying to figure out how we were going to fit everything in our space, and she kept making comments saying she wants a crib in her room and a car seat in her car. There are other places in the house, she said, there are other places in the house for her stuff to go, talking about her room. I started getting very overwhelmed. This is my first child. My mother and her were supposed to be planning my shower together. I have the worst anxiety and asked for a small shower. She kept pushing that she was going to be inviting 50 people herself and just kept involving her friends in everything about my shower. It got to a point where I had to tell her multiple times that she needs to involve my mother because she was just leaving my mother out. We got to filling out the invitations and ran out of envelopes, so she said she would get more the next day. Come the next day, I get home from work and see a whole stack of invitations with people's names that I don't know. My boyfriend at this point is getting angry because he is seeing how it seems like she thinks my child is her child. Come to my baby shower, my boyfriend and I walk in, and at least 6 of her friends are there. I immediately feel upset because I expressed multiple times that I didn't want my shower filled with strangers. Her friends did not introduce themselves to me or talk to me the entire shower.
I'm sorry. You're gonna invite guests, first of all, when you were explicitly asked not to. And then you're gonna invite guests that are rude enough to not even speak to the host of the party?
It's so weird.
So weird.
That made me even more upset. At the end, they all cleaned up while I tell people bye and whatnot. We get home and realize that the money, checks, and gift cards are missing, along with some cards. They ended up going back and checking the dumpster. They did, in fact, find said money and cards. They also threw away bowls and unopened decorations that could definitely be used again. So, not only did these strangers not speak to me at my shower, but they also threw away cards with money.
Oh, I accidentally did that one time. Or that happened around a Christmas one year. Oof. I was so sad.
For yourself, though.
Yeah, it was mine. Yeah. It was mine. I don't know if it was like me that threw it away, or I'm pretty sure the story is that I got caught up with all the wrapping paper. Oh. But it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how it is when you're expecting a child.
No. It got to the point where I started having panic attacks and uncontrollably crying, stressing over not being respected and being overstepped. My boyfriend ends up telling her to calm down and starts making comments that she will not have a crib in her room when she continues bringing it up. It seems okay for a while. Okay. Fast forward a little bit. It is now 5 weeks from my due date. She is due on 12/12. His mother keeps bringing up the fact that she is going to buy her gifts for Christmas and asking how many she should buy. I have said at least 10 times now that I do not want anything for her. If I go past my due date, she isn't even going to be a week old. And we just received tons, and I mean tons of gifts from the shower. She doesn't need anything else, and she definitely isn't able to open gifts. I finally told her I am not waking my newborn baby up to open gifts on Christmas, especially when my lady parts are going to be swollen, bleeding, stitched up, and whatever else. She wants to say, well, can't I just hold her? Like what? I said probably not. If anything, I will be holding my new baby on our first holiday together. She's also asking if she can take my child places that are a year away. And I keep saying we will see. She has asked if she could get up at night with my baby. I plan on naturally feeding unless I'm not able to. She has asked, your mom will probably be in the delivery room though. Yes, in fact, she will be. Why would I want you to watch me give birth and not my own mother? She continues to say she wants me and my husband to go out and get wasted so she can have the baby all night. Oh yeah, did I mention she has all boys and has always wanted a girl? Like, is this not insane?
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah. Or, well, okay, it's understandable. Like, I'm not surprised that she hasn't had a girl and that she's so excited about it for this. Not saying everything else is excusable at all. No. But,
I do feel like she's not coming from a place of, like, malice, though.
Yeah.
Like, it seems very just, like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Right, just overly excited.
Right. She's still overstepping boundaries, which isn't cool.
Right.
But part of me is like, oh, she's really excited. But too much.
Yeah, it's like she's very excited, but then, like, inconsiderate. Like, it seems like she's like, okay, so when this happens, you guys are gonna go party and get wasted.
Right.
I'm gonna watch the baby. You guys are gonna do this. You know, it's like, well, hang on.
Right.
Do we get a say in our own life?
Right.
Like,
it's like, okay, we're so happy you're happy and are gonna treat baby girl great, but this is my baby.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Yours.
I get to make the decision of what my baby's doing in a year.
Right. 2 months later, I finally had my baby. My water broke around 1:15 a.m. on December 5th. I called labor and delivery and they advised me to come in. We were still living with my boyfriend's family and I had already called to talk to my mother about my water breaking. My boyfriend went down and told his mother, and she came down to see if we needed anything before leaving. We got to the hospital around 2:30 a.m. and they confirmed it was in fact my water that had broken and I was 1 centimeter. I hadn't slept yet, and my adrenaline, and honestly being in shock, kept me up all night. My mother ended up arriving at the hospital early that morning. I had told the nurses that I wanted no one but my boyfriend and my mother in the labor and delivery room. It was now late evening of December 5th, and I had stopped dilating at 8 centimeters around 2 p.m. My boyfriend had asked his mom to bring him a charger and clothes, as we had totally forgotten to pack him things. We only grabbed what I needed. He was arguing on the phone with her because she was saying she is coming to my room. LOL. He told her no one was allowed in. I had already told the nurses, so she ended up saying she would just wait in the waiting room, which still made me mad and uncomfortable because who says I'm going to want guests as soon as I have my baby? Anyways, she ends up leaving. It is now around 8 p.m. My doctor had left, and I now had the on-call labor and delivery doctor. I knew as soon as she checked to see how dilated I was, she was not going to give me the option to have my baby naturally. My doctor, including the 5 nurses, all got 8 centimeters, but the on-call doctor said I was only 6. She was a stingy checker. I knew something was wrong. She said I would need a C-section. I agreed because I couldn't take the pain anymore.
Oh.
They turned my epidural off an hour before I was even taken back for the C-section. I ended up having to be put all the way to sleep due to feeling too much pain on my right side. I woke up and immediately started asking where my baby was, and they said she was with Dad. I got back to my room, and it was only my boyfriend and my baby. They had made my mom leave so I could hold and see her first. I instantly started crying. She is so beautiful.
No.
I love my boyfriend to the very end, but he hurt my feelings a lot. He FaceTimed his family and showed them my baby before I even got to see her. His father also made a post on the Blue app about how he's finally a grandpa, and that made me upset too, seeing as this is supposed to be our news to share. I'm told after we are back in the room that my baby was breech, so the C-section was a little complicated. While they were getting her out of me, she also pooped on me. So I basically started off with a great labor experience that turned into basically one of the worst.
Aww.
The next day, we let our parents visit. We ended up being there for 4 days. I was put on blood pressure meds because it was very elevated. I was already having very bad anxiety and terrified about returning to his parents' house more than ever because I had a C-section. We got home and it was overwhelming. The next day, we were asked, "Can I come see the baby?" Sure, whatever. The next day, "Can I come see the baby?" OMG, every single day. I started having panic and anxiety attacks. I'm crying every single day. My boyfriend asks his mother to give us space. 2 days pass, and this is where it all starts. She is making comments over the phone to my boyfriend, basically making it like we are keeping her from our baby. I got mad. She comes down that night, and I tell her I'm not doing this little kid drama. She says, "What drama?" I say the comments, the complaining about not being down here every single day. She says, "Well, I think I need to be around." I said, "Not every day. You don't see my mother here every day, and we deserve privacy and space." She said, "I've given you plenty of space." I say, "What, 2 days? And what if we didn't live here? Would you come to our house every day?" She got up, handed the baby to my boyfriend, and said, "I'm done." She said, "I'm tired of your attitude since you've been here," and slammed the door on the way out.
Oh my gosh.
My boyfriend agrees and said the baby and I come first, but that is his mother. Well, maybe if she had respected our boundaries and given us space when we asked the first time, this wouldn't have happened. I feel like so much of this is just because they're living with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say at the beginning, I think I missed that part when she was saying, like, I'll have a crib in my house and I'll have a thing in my car.
Yeah.
I was assuming she was, like, gonna have a whole separate one, like, at a different place.
Right, me too.
But if it's just, like, I guess she was just referring to it too much as, like, for our baby. And it's like,
yeah, I think that was maybe the thing. But I wonder, like, so they live in, like, the same house, or are they, like, right next to each other?
I'm wondering if maybe it's, like, a duplex thing.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
an upstairs,
wondering that too.
downstairs.
Yeah.
but
because I can understand, like, if the mom is just so excited to have this grandchild and she's literally right there, then like, yeah, I would probably come down and say
you are
hi.
probably gonna see her more than your mom's seeing her, kind of thing.
Like that would probably be hard to be like, like she's so close but so far,
right?
You know.
At the same time, like, give them space.
Yeah, like you can also respect the woman that just has multiple wounds inside of her right now.
His mother's sister had also texted me mad because I said we're not doing visitors right now. She got an attitude after I nicely asked her to stop texting me and told her we would notify her when we were having visitors. I guess I'm selfish and insane for not wanting visitors every single day after having a baby. I am selfish for wanting to hold my child. I'm insane for not wanting the entire family, cousins, aunts, uncles, to meet my week-old child. I am insane and mean for asking not to be bothered every day and for wanting time with my child and her father as a family of 3. It is completely insane to me. I have still continued crying and having my breakdowns, continuously telling my boyfriend I do not want to live here. Well, it does not end there. I had posted a video about people wanting to see our baby after not speaking to us my entire pregnancy, relating to a couple of my friends that had not spoken to me since I told them I was pregnant. My boyfriend's younger brother, 13, decided to make a comment to me and said that I am ungrateful, that his mom does everything for us and she deserves to see the baby, and that the house is a prison because I am here. Again, no one said she could not see the child. We just asked, not every day. I replied and asked what he was talking about. He replied that the house is a prison because of me and I need to get the F out. For one, how is it a prison? We live in the basement. Okay, there's your answer on how they're living. If anything, I should feel like I'm in prison, given the fact that I'm down here every day and have to listen to him cuss his mother out, scream and bounce basketballs in the house, etc. You would think he would be disciplined, but he is in fact not ever. He stayed at a friend's house that night. I screenshotted it and sent it to my boyfriend again while having a breakdown, crying because all I want is some space and to enjoy my child. And I told him I'm not staying here. I ended up showing everything to my mother and she was infuriated. She ended up calling my boyfriend's mother just to see what was going on and why they're treating me like this after I just had a baby and a C-section and I'm recovering. His mother told my mother that if she cannot see the child when she wants to, then I should move out, whether my boyfriend goes with me or not. I had already texted my father at this point, hoping I could come back. He told me yes, and I instantly felt relieved. Anyway, his mother ends up calling my boyfriend, who is now home from work and has just been sitting there while I'm crying and having a breakdown, basically calling his mother a psycho and whatnot, and he answers the phone. She is crying, saying she does not want us to move out and she will never bother us again. I'm still very angry. How can she go from saying we need to leave to crying to saying we need to stay? She is a manipulator and selfish. She only wants us to stay so she can see the baby when she wants, and so she knows she does not have to be invited over to see her. It is now 2 weeks later, and I planned on moving out this weekend, but we have just gotten a bunch of snow. So we are still here. I do not know if my boyfriend is going to come with me at this point.
Oh, really?
Okay. That took a turn.
Yeah, I thought the boyfriend wasn't cool with all this stuff either.
Yeah, wait, what? I have asked multiple times and brought it up, and he says nothing. I just want out. I'm tired of listening to the 75 people upstairs be noisy all day and late at night because I already do not sleep because I have a newborn. I am ready to feel calm, and no, I will not be bothered every day. By the way, I'm going to bother you every day. To listen to full episodes with stories just like this, to go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search up OK Storytime. We have just a little bit left. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think choosing your peace is the best thing you could do right now. Especially like if you've already had all of this stress, like in the end of your pregnancy, in the beginning of your motherhood. Like I think just going somewhere right now where you can just have the least stress possible is perfect.
Even if your boyfriend doesn't come, I think you gotta.
Honestly.
Especially because he just sits there and watches me cry.
Yeah, like what is that? What's going on there?
Okay. His mother has been trying to kiss my butt since that night, constantly asking me if I want something to eat and she will make it for me or if I want something brought home. All I want is to be left alone. Yes, she can see the baby on my terms. I do not know why everyone thinks they are entitled to my child. One of his aunts just showed up without being invited. I don't care anymore. I am not staying quiet, and I will not sit around with everyone who bashes me behind my back for wanting privacy. There are also always at least 8 other people in and out of the house. I am not passing my newborn around and letting her get sick. I do not know. Am I the insane one for wanting privacy and respect? And that is the end of that story. Yeah. And no, I do not think you are.
I do not think you are either. I think no one is insane for wanting privacy and respect.
Yeah.
I think it's very reasonable and everyone should have that.
Yeah. I feel as though tensions might just be extra raised because it's like you're living in the basement of their house and like you just can't get away.
Yeah.
So move out. Find somewhere. Just even if it's just for a little bit. Go to your parents.
If you move out and leave, like, I feel like your relationship is probably going to be healed. Like, I don't think...
I could see that.
I think it's possible that it's not, like, the end of your relationship totally.
It's just one big stressor that has something that you can do to fix it.
You just can't be in the same house together at all.
Yeah.
But good luck to you, OP. I hope you choose peace.